Hey, how y'all doing this rising? I am Plump Queen, and this is Tell True Vision Social Media Live. All right, so I know y'all saw the caption for this, so y'all already know what I'm about to talk about, and I'm going to give y'all my noble opinion on the situation, and hopefully, we all can come, we can just, make the proper changes that's needed. I'm gonna say that. All right, so Roe versus Wade. Okay. January 22nd, 1973, they passed a law, stating that women have a right to privacy, which means that they are allowed, to get rid of children, what I'm saying, if they want to, if they get pregnant and, don't want to keep the pregnancy, they have the right to abort it. That is the right to their privacy. Okay. So I want to go a little bit into who these are because I'm going to keep it real. We learn about this in school and all this good stuff, but the majority of us don't go deep into these court cases unless you're into law, unless this is, something that you're really into. When I learned about Roe versus Wade, they didn't get into deep with it. They just told us what it was, what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the reason why this even came about and how it is completely different than where we are now. Okay. So let's think of the climate. We're talking in 1973. Okay. 1973, women were going through, I'm saying, going through the women's rights movement. So back then, women did not have, barely had rights. They can barely vote. What I'm saying? And I'm also going to make this clear. This Roe versus Wade situation was honestly about white women. See, in the 1970s, our community wasn't even a part of that. This was about white women being oppressed by their counterpart and fighting for their rights. Back then, I'm saying, they didn't have choices. They married because they didn't have the right to work. They didn't work. They could not provide for themselves. They could not take care of themselves. So they had to get married. They had to prove themselves to somebody so that they can survive. That was the climate in the 1970s. Okay? Women were not working. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you about Jane Roe to show who she is and who Henry Wade is, and then I'm just going to come forth with my opinion. Okay? So Jane Roe, in 1969, her real name was Norma McCorvey. A Texas woman in her early 20s sought to terminate an unwanted pregnancy. McCorvey, who had grown up in a difficult, impoverished circumstances, previously had given birth twice and given both children up for adoption. At the time, Ms. McCorvey's pregnancy in 1969, abortion was legal in Texas, but only for the purpose of saving a woman's life. While American women with the financial means could obtain abortions by traveling to other countries where the procedure was safe and legal, or pay a large fee, a U.S. doctor wanting to secretly perform an abortion, those options were out of reach for Ms. McCorvey and many other women. As a result, some women resorted to illegal and dangerous back alley abortions or self-induced abortions. In the 1950s and the 1960s, the estimated number of illegal abortions in the United States ranged from 200,000 to 1.2 million per year, according to the Guttmacher Institute. After trying unsuccessfully to get an illegal abortion, McCorvey was referred to Texas attorney Linda Coffey and Sarah Weddington, who were interested in challenging anti-abortion laws. In court documents, Ms. McCorvey became known as Jane Roe. Okay, so you have a woman who is not in the best situation, what I'm saying, and she's already had 2 children that she had to give up. She had to give them up because she couldn't take care of them. And clearly the man who was impregnating her couldn't take care of them either. Or she could have been raped. We don't know. What I'm saying? We don't have the backstory, what I'm saying, outside of this. At least, I don't, for Norma. But just the climate back then, what I'm saying? Women didn't have choices. So it's understandable, what I'm saying, why she would want to do this. Now, the Henry Wade guy, he was an attorney. Okay, in 1970s, the attorneys filed a lawsuit on behalf of McCorvey and all the other women who were or might become pregnant and want to consider all options against Henry Wade, the district attorney of Dallas County, where McCorvey lived. So he was the district attorney, you know what I'm saying, of the county, trying to make, stop all of this. All right. So that is the 1970s. Okay. Makes complete sense why this would be important in 1973. Because again, women could not work and provide for themselves. For the most part, they could not choose, you know what I'm saying, to be or not to be with someone. They had no choice but to marry. Didn't matter whether it had to do with love, and it was more so about survival. Women back then had to marry for survival. And with that came slavery, pretty much. They had to do what they were told. Man was the head of the household. Again, he was the provider. You know what I'm saying? I can even go from the standpoint of religion. I know my grandmother, you know what I'm saying, grew up feeling like she was not allowed to deny my grandfather sex. Didn't matter if she was in the mood, it didn't matter how she was feeling. That was the climate in the 1970s. Your husband was your God, was your master, and you had to do what he told you to do. You had to please him when he wanted to be pleased because he was providing for you. That was the climate in 1973. Well, we in 2022 now, okay? This is 50 years later, okay? Women are making more money than men now. The government gives plenty of assistance to women. Okay. Now we've taken this law that allows, you know what I'm saying, women who don't have, you know what I'm saying, certain rights and, really don't have any options and can't do anything. We've turned that into now, oh, I can just be reckless because I got options. The women of 2022 are not the women of 1973. I am actually okay with Roe versus Wade being overturned. I told y'all, I am an accountability coach. I have been preaching for the past 60 days about accountability, especially when we're talking about sex. We scream and we cry about, how we're in these positions. We always talk about, oh, I can't be. Y'all are tripping about baby formula, having a shortage, can't pay your bills, can't do this, can't do that because you got these kids. But you got these most in this era, most of these children are being born by accident. You're having a drunken night. You having fun. You being wild and free. Having a good time. Being irresponsible. And bringing children into this world that you have no mind to raise or the resources to raise. That's what's going on in 2022. I understand there are cases, you know what I'm saying, where rape still happens. So I understand if you have been violated against your will and that happens, yes, I do believe that you have the choice, that you should have the choice whether to bring that child, that life into this world, because there are a lot of dynamics that goes along with that. Being raped is traumatic. Okay, so just the feelings that the mother has during that pregnancy is going to affect that child. When that child, you know what I'm saying, is born, you're not sure how that mother's going to take that. That baby can be a constant reminder of her trauma. That can in turn have her treat that child, you know what I'm saying, horribly, not putting them in a position not to be able to be a mother. That's understandable. But not, oh, I met this guy at the club. We've been dating for 6 months. So that's my man now. So we don't got to use condoms because I know him. And now you pregnant, but you can't even get a job. You wasn't even thinking about that. You don't know nothing about this man. You don't know his background. You don't know his childhood traumas. You don't know his people's. You don't know his intellectual. You don't know his financial literacy. You know nothing about this man, but what he looked like and how his dick make you feel. And we think that it's cool because we got the right to do that. That's freedom. How? I'm glad that Roe versus Wade has been overturned. So maybe now we can start being more responsible. Maybe now, if you can't just hop, skip, and jump to the abortion clinic, maybe you'll think twice. Maybe you won't drink so much. Maybe you'll keep your legs closed. Pregnancy is 1,000% preventable. I'm honestly, I'm in that. It's not a double-edged sword conversation. I'm gonna keep it real because, like I said in the beginning, this ain't 1973. Any female right now can go out and get a job. I just spoke about the rape victim, sis. I just spoke about that. I do believe that in those circumstances, that should, you know what I'm saying, that should be allowed. I'm not saying that, and think about it, there's always exceptions to the rule. So I feel when laws are being made, that should be, you know what I'm saying, should be considered. No, you're good. No apologies. You know, speak your mind, sis. Speak your mind. But I'm just saying, I understand that if someone violated you, and I gave the reasons why, it's not even just, you know what I'm saying, about the woman. It's even about the child. When you're pregnant, I don't care what y'all think. Everything you feel and think goes into your child. So if being raped is traumatic, so not only are you putting that energy into the child while the woman's pregnant, there's no guarantee that when the baby comes out that she's not going to continue to give that child that energy because now you are a reminder of my trauma. So I completely understand, you know what I'm saying, taking care of it in that way. I 1,000% agree with that. But the majority of the situations now in the 2000s and the 2020s, most of these abortions is because women are out here being reckless. Men are out here being reckless with their genitalia because you feel like you have the right to. You somehow that makes you feel like you free, like you got, you know what I'm saying, like you really have control over your life because you can have willy-nilly sex any way that you want to. That's not cool. Because again, you are bringing children into this world. Even if you got the money to take care of them, it takes more than money to raise children. If you don't have the right mentality, if you're not emotionally stable, if you haven't dealt with all of your childhood traumas, you are repeating cycles. You're going to teach your kids that. And this is what we need to stop. This is what we're trying to change. So the only way to change that is if we change what we're doing because we're the one raising these kids. Something has to change. And we always say we need to get to the root of the problem. Well, that is the root. How we feel and how we disrespect sex. We have been using sex as a sport, and sex is not a sport. That shit is a powerful and sacred ritual to bring life. I don't care that y'all bust it wide open and skeet, skeet, skeet in the songs y'all make and how y'all describe sex. That is a process to bring life into this world. That is not something that you disrespect. That is not something that you should just be willy-nilly in with. You are exchanging energy. You are exchanging DNA when you're doing that. That is not just a hump, hump, and miss. Just because you think that, that don't mean it. That's why a lot of y'all can't get over these people. Y'all are, you know what I'm saying, y'all are trauma bonding with people. You're exerting y'all's energy into each other. This is why you can't let them go. That shit is deep. So maybe now that you can't just go hop and skip a jump and get an abortion, you may start thinking about that and make better decisions. Because I'll say it again, pregnancy is 1000% preventable. I have been sleeping with the same man for 13 years and I have never, not once, had a pregnancy scare. Why? Because we use condoms. Period. Because we're not in a position to have a child. He already has 2 kids. Does it make sense to bring more life into this world and we can't take care of it the way that we want to? Look at the shit that's going on. Just 3 years ago, we was in a whole pandemic. No toilet tissue. No jobs, no nothing. Why aren't y'all thinking about this? Accountability. You cannot blame the government. You can't blame the white man no more. These are personal choices that we are making. You do not have to have these babies out here, can't take care of them. I just had a conversation, you know what I'm saying, about the state of our community on another platform called Do It for the Culture that's based out of Macon. If you're in Macon, you should definitely look it up. And even if you're not, go on their YouTube page. We was just talking about this, about what is needed, you know what I'm saying, to get into the mind of these children. And the question I asked the gentleman is, where are their parents? Because I don't have kids. That man out, he doesn't have children. But here we are having a dialogue, trying to figure out how to save your babies. Your babies. And that shit is crazy. You have no thought. People are not having any type of thought process. You're just out here using sex to fill voids because sex feel good. You know what I'm saying? And it heightens up those endorphins in, you know what I'm saying, in your mind. Because life is hard. Life sucks. You ain't in where you want to be. So at least you can have this relief, right? No, that's the problem. If we would deal with our shit, we won't be continuing this. There are too many children in foster care. There are too many children in homes that they don't need to be in for us to keep having kids, to keep saying, because I know a lot of people say, yo, we need to have more Black children and we need to have more babies. Honestly, no, the fuck we don't. No, we don't. There are too many children on this planet right now who need healthy homes. Too many. Like, I don't understand why y'all are, you know what I'm saying, are not feeling this. Because again, these are your babies, your legacy. Your children are a representation of you. And it's not going to get better until we do something. These children are being taught, they're kids. They don't know no better. We're not teaching them anything. Society has brainwashed people into thinking that is the norm. A lot of women are broken and don't think through they don't. We don't. And this is not to bash you. This is to wake you up. This is to make your life better. So your children, because we always say we want better for our kids. That's what we say. Sounds nice. But are you really willing to make the sacrifices and the changes to actually do that? Street talk politics. People always say it's a woman's choice. So if the woman chooses to have unprotected sex, then why can't she deal with the consequences? The streets are talking. What is your view from the streets? Well, I'm not from the streets. You know what I'm saying? I did grow up in the projects, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not from the streets. I'm coming, you know what I'm saying, from a person's, a human's perspective. You are absolutely right. It is our choice. That's what we say, right? So it is our responsibility. I was saying that the other day when we were talking about how a lot of women bash fathers on Father's Day. You guys want all this clout, but with titles and you know what I'm saying, with rights comes responsibility. So if it's your right to get rid of it and all that stuff, then it's also your responsibility when it goes down. Choices. Pregnancy is 1,000% preventable. And this is why I feel that Roe versus Wade being overturned is okay. But fellas, that doesn't absolve you either, because it takes two to tango. And this is why you have to deal with what you have to deal with. You're not exempt. Y'all need to be more responsible as well, because going around here and having 11 kids, 12 kids, and just dipping off, that shit's not cool either. You're going to pay for that too. So we, as human beings, have to be more responsible. And I'm going to keep it real. You should not need a law. The government should not have to tell you to be responsible, because you got to live this life, not them. That's only affecting their pockets in a positive way. The more you put yourself in a fucked up situation, the better it is for them. You should be able to govern yourself. That's a problem. We're adults. I'm not talking about kids. We're talking about grown ass people. You done lived life. You done already seen shit. It is too much information out here. We live in the age of information. You can Google everything. There is no excuses. It's too many ways to have protected, safe sex. Too many ways. Too many toys. Too many contraceptives. Too many ways to get those same results, but responsibly. No one's telling you, well, I kind of am, but I can't tell you not to have sex. Just be responsible if you're going to do it. That's all I'm saying. And now you're kind of forced to do it. Because ladies, are you really about to just be like, oh, I can do what I want, and you really gonna play Russian roulette like that? Is that what you about to do? Because if you do, you can't blame dudes. And fellas, you can't blame, y'all can't blame nobody but yourselves. Because you know now that there's law, that you no longer have this option. So what you gonna do? Well, you going to make that money, honey. I love you too. Thank you for tapping in. Right. Men should be more responsible and not think of women as notches on their belt. No, they shouldn't. But here's the thing. They do. The average man does. That is what they're taught from birth. That's how it is. That's part of the problem. That's why all this started. You see, men, they've been taught that way. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies, what we gonna do? How we supposed to move? See, you can't live your life with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You can't live your life the way things should be. You got to live your life the way it is. So whether you think you should have the right to do it or not, the fact of the matter is that's the law now. So how are you going to move accordingly? Are you going to put yourself in a bind now because you should have the right to do it? Is that what you're about to do? Or are you going to be responsible? Those are the choices. Right, I can't intimidate girls. Something. I'm gonna keep it real. You 17. I'm gonna need you to keep it in your pants. I'm gonna need you. I know I ain't your mom and all that stuff, but you in a good space to keep it. Know your worth, King. Know your worth, and don't be spreading your seed. You know what I'm saying? All over the place. It's precious. You got the ample opportunity to switch that on up. Okay, I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, that's my cousin. So yeah, Roe versus Wade. It's time to get responsible, people. It is time to hold ourselves accountable. It is time to be responsible and teach your children the same. That is the clear point. Okay, we need to respect our bodies a lot more. You don't understand how disrespectful that is to your body and your womb. You know what I'm saying? Just going off and willy-nilly and giving it to everybody just because you think that you can. That is not a source of freedom. You still got to pay bills. That don't make you free. It actually puts you in a position to put more shackles on you because you having children that you're not ready for. Okay? So I love y'all. That's straight to the point. Okay? Let's be responsible. Condoms are everywhere. Trojan is my brand. It's been working for years. They got all different types. They got the thin ones, they got the snake skin, they got the lamb skin, they got the ridges on them. They got extra, extra large if your man is well endowed, and they got the regular ones if he ain't. But there is no excuse for you to bring children into this world that you don't want. And it is nothing wrong with being responsible, especially with something, that can absolutely ruin your life and the being that you're bringing into this world. I've seen it a million times. So, intent, excuse me. Now you Gucci. All right, so let's scroll up in here. I'm going to figure out how to make this a whole lot more one arm friendly. Yes, Inspire Media Network. You can catch this episode and all other episodes and podcasts on Inspire Media Network on Roku TV. We are working to get to all the other platforms like Fire Stick and whatnot. But right now, we are taking over Roku. So get your $24.99. That is the cheapest Roku I have seen so far. And you can get it at Wallace World. You can get it at Walmart. Okay, real simple. Get straight to it and get this inspiration. All right. Inspire Interviews had a dope interview last night with Matthew Santana. I have July is about to be booked up. So if you are a content creator, if you're just someone who's amazing, you have a business, you're a podcaster, whatever it is, if you're out here inspiring people, we want to see you. You know what I'm saying? I want to share you know what I'm saying, with my viewers. So hit me up at Inspire Content 999. I switched that up. Here we go. So Inspire Content 999 Yahoo, that is the email to hit me up about anything that has to do with Inspire Media. If you want to have advertisement, if you want to get your content on there, if you want to collaborate in some form of fashion, that is the best way to contact me. Okay. Also, Tuesdays, we have our Soul Sister Therapy Childhood Trauma podcast. This podcast is honestly right now my most successful, if I might say. Looking at the analytics, I'm getting into, looking at my stats, and you guys are really, really out here wanting to heal. And that just warms my heart. It makes me feel like I am truly fulfilling my purpose. And I'm just so happy about that. So please keep tuning in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Soul Sister Therapy Childhood Trauma podcast. That's what we're trying to get rid of so we don't have these issues. All right. And of course, Sundays with Spirit with 33 Master Teacher. Sunday nights at 9 p.m. We got our own crazy spin on tarot. Okay, so we are bringing spirituality to television, and I'm excited about that as well. Spirituality is major on why I am who I am. I'm where I'm at and going where it is that I'm going. So again, to each his own, but I just want to give you guys, what I'm saying, this spiritual journey that we're going on, and give you another option, what I'm saying, to tap into something that's going to help you in your life. Okay. And also, I have become an author. We have co-author, I should say. We have a new book. My sister, LaShawn Cleveland, and my brother, Deuce the Wave. We came up with I Am Affirmations for Children. Okay. Again, getting to the root of our problems, changing, these cycles. It starts with our kids. So having your children speak affirmations to themselves on a daily basis at a young age. It's the major foundation, you know what I'm saying, for their success. When they know who they are, when they love themselves, they can go out in the world and TV and music and all these things, you know what I'm saying, can't penetrate, their minds. So I am affirmations for children. It's coming out soon. I'll make sure I keep y'all posted on when it's going to be available on Amazon, as well as signed copies from me. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. All right, that is all that we have. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we got. I mean, we got to get to the kids, and we have to get to them. So let's start with reading. I say reading is fun. Reading is fundamental. That's not something that we do a lot in our community. So we try to push, push, push. I've actually been getting connected with a lot of authors of all different types of books, but especially children's books. So I got a great idea. I ain't gonna tell y'all about it yet. We're gonna put it together. But yeah, we have to get to these babies by any means. So every avenue that I can come up with, I'm on it. All right. So love, love, love y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday and be inspired. Peace.